Hinata Hyuga might be one of Naruto's most popular characters, going from the shy, soft-spoken, serial thumb twiddler that we met in early Naruto to the brave Kunoichi who stood up against Pain during the Naruto vs. Pain fight and ultimately became Naruto's wife and the mother of his children. However, what if I told you there's actually quite a bit about Hinata Hyuga that you don't know if you've only watched the Naruto anime? Here are 15 things about Hinata Hyuga that you likely don't know, and if we hit 1,500 likes on this video within a week of uploading, I'll drop 15 things you didn't know about Neji. Number 1, did you know that contrary to the belief that a lot of Naruto fans have, Hinata isn't actually retired as a shinobi in the Boruto era. While we mostly see her as a loving mother and housewife, she's actually a shinobi in Konoha and still goes on missions during the Boruto era. However, Hinata, when she does take missions, she only does so sparingly, only taking missions that can be completed in a few hours and no longer than a couple of days so that she can return home to her family, which makes a lot of sense given that her husband Naruto is likely stuck in the Hokage office or running around the village doing his duties as Hokage. We learned this information in the Naruto parent and child age story in a chapter that was not adapted into the anime, which is why many of you guys might be scratching your head about this fact since it wasn't actually animated. Number 2, did you know that by the end of Naruto's manga, by the events of Naruto chapter 700, Hinata has actually mastered 2 changes in chakra nature. According to the 4th Naruto data book, which covers Naruto volumes 44 to 72, basically the story from Naruto learning about Jiraiya's death all up until the moment that Boruto paints the straw hat Jolly Roger on Naruto's face on the Hokage monument. Hinata mastered fire release and lightning release during that time period, which might explain why Boruto has a strong aptitude and affinity for lightning release, because both of his parents, Naruto and Hinata, each mastered lightning release. Number 3, did you know that despite meeting one of the requirements expected of a Jonin, which is mastery of 2 changes in chakra nature, which were told in Naruto's Akatsuki suppression arc by Kakashi, Hinata actually never got promoted to Jonin. There's a misconception by a lot of fans that by the events of Naruto the Last, Hinata is actually a Jonin, but the truth is that she and Naruto were the only members of the Hanabi rescue team that weren't actually promoted to Jonin. Naruto's promotion was conditional. In the Naruto anime, it was filler on top of that, and Sakura, Shikamaru, and Sai were each promoted to Jonin as one of Kakashi's first acts as Hokage. In the end, it works out perfectly for Hinata. Being a Chunin means that the most dangerous missions that she has to go on, at best, B-rank missions, which basically is guard duty and the occasional killing of enemies, if there is a fight, and a ton of C-rank missions, which basically have little to no combat expectations and are basically odd jobs like catching petty thieves or capturing wild animals running wild in the land of fire, which explains why she's able to return home after only a few hours from most of her missions, because she's clearly Jonin level skilled despite her ranking, but she doesn't take on any type of the missions that Jonin would take on. Number 4, did you know that Hinata actually made a major defense of Naruto's honor as a father and a husband in the Boruto era? During the events of Naruto parent and child day, while Hinata is out on a mission with Hanabi and her father Hiashi, Hanabi reveals to Hinata that while her father and herself respect her desire to be Naruto's wife, they're growing concerned about Naruto's lack of inability to balance his duties as Hokage and being at home as a father and husband, noting it's taking a toll on Boruto, saying it's not fair to Hinata to carry such a heavy burden that she does, while making it clear they don't mean to disrespect Hinata or her marriage to Naruto. They're just concerned about the lack of balance that Naruto's showing. This leads to Hanabi revealing that her father wants to move Hinata, Boruto, and Himawari into the Hyuga compound so that they can offer her more assistance and help with the training of Boruto and Himawari, with Boruto finally completing his Hyuga training and Himawari beginning her own. Hinata takes great exception to this, even after she learns that her father never brought this information to her himself, mostly out of respect for her and her marriage to Naruto, but Hanabi, due to their close relationship, speaks her mind to Hinata, which leads to a rather tense moment between the 2 sisters that spills out into an all-out brawl where the 2 of them agree to terms of their fight in the hot spring, saying that if Hinata wins, then Hanabi has to respect her decision to stay by Naruto and trust that Naruto will find balance as his duties as Hokage and father. But on the other hand, if Hinata loses the fight, then she has to agree to move herself and the kids into the Hyuga compound. This leads to Hinata resoundingly defeating her sister during their fight once Hinata stops holding back. Needless to say, Hanabi never brought this issue up ever again because Hinata's gentle fists weren't exactly too gentle when they landed those fists on Hanabi's face. face. Number 5, did you know that while Hinata spent her days spying on Naruto as a child, lurking behind the corners, watching him from afar, Hinata was being spied upon by herself by the Otsutsuki clan? You'll want to sit down for this one because this is a scene that was cut out of the Naruto the Last Movie, but the official Naruto the Last Movie novelization is where we learn that Toneri and his father would use the hidden jutsu of their clan to focus their chakra into the crown of their forehead in order to see, and they would specifically look to see what the Hyuga were doing on Earth, with Toneri's father calling the Hyuga relatives of their clan and saying to a young Toneri that one day it will be his duty to go to Earth and wed the young Hyuga that they were spying on. That Hyuga in question was obviously Hinata, and much to Toneri's anger, every time he'd spy on Hinata, she would always spy on Naruto. So if you watched the movie and thought that things seemed a little too personal on his end when it came toward his animosity towards Naruto, now you know why, especially why he got as pissed off as he did when he saw Hinata making that scarf for Naruto. Number 6, sticking with the events of Naruto the Last, did you know that Hinata actually dodged a huge bullet when it comes to Toneri? If Toneri would have gotten his way with her and say he killed Naruto during the events of the movie, his plan would have resulted in a very dark future for Hinata. Toneri not only planned to erase all life on Earth, but he also planned to repopulate the planet after making Hinata his wife. That means instead of the wonderful night where Naruto lit some candles and started playing some soulful ninja and beat music and helped Hinata make Boruto, Toneri would have been the one procreating with Hinata, and the guy didn't just want 1 or 2 kids with her. He wanted to make a whole civilization, which means that Hinata, for as long as she was fertile, would have been spending every year of her life being pregnant with his kids. Thankfully, Hinata got the husband that she always wanted and the husband who she deserved. Number 7, did you know that Naruto Shippuden's anime actually misrepresented the timeline after the 4th Ninja War, making Hinata and Naruto get married much later in the timeline than they originally did? In the anime, Naruto marries Hinata after Sasuke fights against Chino and the exploding humans and after Shikamaru goes to the Land of Silence. However, the correct timeline would have been Shikamaru going to the Land of Silence, then the events of Naruto the Last transpiring, and then Naruto would marry Hinata, and then you would wrap things up with Sasuke beating Chino and the exploding humans and returning to Konoha. Due to this, a lot of Naruto fans have the timeline events of what happened between the 4th Ninja War and the start of Boruto Naruto Next Generations completely mixed up. Number 8, did you know that Hinata might have married Naruto, but by doing so, she actually caused quite the commotion with Kishimoto's own wife? Back in 2015, at the New York Comic Con that Kishimoto attended, his first time coming to America, on top of that, he revealed that his wife was extremely upset with him because Naruto ended up with Hinata and not Sakura, to the point that she put him into the doghouse figuratively. The reason for this is that Kishimoto's own wife looks just like Sakura, something that the One Piece creator and longtime friend of Kishimoto, Eiichiro Oda, has said in the past, and because Kishimoto based Naruto off of his own personality, it led to his wife getting extremely upset with Kishimoto even joking that his wife might secretly realize that she's not the inspiration for Hinata's character. Number 9, did you know that there's actually conflicting information on when Kishimoto actually planned to have Naruto and Hinata end up together? In 2015, after Naruto had finally released its final physical volume, Kishimoto stated at Comic-Con in 2015 that he had made the decision to have Naruto and Hinata end up together at the middle portion of the story, which would have been around the events of the Pain arc, with him saying that because Hinata had always supported and acknowledged Naruto long before Master Iruka had done so, that he began to realize that these characters were meant to be because she saw past his reputation and she saw who he was on the inside. But fast forward to 2017, in another interview, Kishimoto said that he made his mind up at the very beginning of the story. Hopefully, this isn't the sign that Kishimoto's growing a Toriyama brain where if you ask him the same question on a different day, you'll get a completely different answer. Number 10, did you know that by the Boruto era, Hinata more than once has been regarded as the master of the gentle fist fighting style and the pinnacle of what to expect with a byakugan user? The Boruto Road to Be promotional manga calls her the definitive master of the gentle fist fighting style that the Hyuga clan passes down to members of the main branch, and in the Sasuke Shinden teaches Star Pupil story, which was not adapted into the Boruto anime, Hinata's byakugan has grown so sensitive that she's able to pick up on chakra when it's molded, the moment that someone uses it if they're within range of her byakugan, even when her byakugan is cut off. In that story, that's how she finds out that Boruto's practicing water release released inside their house behind her back, violating the house rule that she has, which is there's no ninjutsu inside the house, and she gives Boruto a quick warning before she returns to the kitchen to finish dinner for Naruto and the family. And a fun fact about this, that no ninjutsu inside the house rule actually started after Naruto sent a shadow clone home for Himawari's birthday. Make of that what you will. Number 11, did you know that the kind-hearted Hinata actually has two people she wants to fight the most? In the Naruto data books, we learned that the two people Hinata wants to fight in a serious battle more than anyone else is a serious rematch with Neji and a battle with her father Hiashi, which makes a lot of sense. Neji, the first time that they fought, he nearly killed her due to all the hatred in his heart that he had at the time. In a serious fight with her father, who gave up on her and appointed her younger sister Hanabi, who was 5 years younger than her, as the heiress of the clan, it makes a ton of sense. Hinata didn't want fights against them to be petty or to get revenge. She wanted to get acknowledgement from two of the strongest members of the Hyuga clan, who during that time period, during Naruto Part 2, were actually the two strongest members of the clan, with Neji having surpassed Hiashi during that time period. Number 12 is going to be sure to make Boruto fans raise a collective eyebrow when they hear this one, but did you know that depending on the lettering system used, which reminder, Japanese has multiple alphabets, and Kishimoto purposely plays with each lettering system for hidden messages in the manga. Depending on the lettering system that's chosen, Hinata's name can be translated as being a place in the sun. Boruto fans are probably raising their eyebrows at this because, as we all know, Mitsuki looks at himself as being the moon to Boruto's sun. The decision to have Mitsuki refer to Boruto as being a sun was something done intentionally by Kishimoto, who both wrote and drew the Mitsuki one-shot manga, where Orochimaru lets Sage Mode Mitsuki take that scroll that has the photo of Boruto inside of. Basically, Mitsuki's son is the son of Hinata, whose name means a place in the sun, which is fitting because as Boruto's mother, she does have a place in his heart. Number 13, did you know that the other meaning behind Hinata's name is Pure White Lily? This should be a big reward for Naruto manga readers because there's a scene that we're about to link to this information that was never adapted into the Naruto Shippuden anime or Boruto Naruto Next Generations, because Naruto Chapter 700 was never actually adapted into either anime. In Naruto Chapter 700, Himawari is shown carrying out the tradition that her mother had by placing sunflowers at Neji's grave, and the flowers that were placed there were after Himawari's namesake. Himawari's name means sunflowers. She gave Neji a sunflower at the grave. Well, in Naruto Chapter 699, we see Hinata placing pure white lilies on Neji's grave, another one of her namesakes, which makes that moment in Naruto Chapter 700 Himawari hit home that much harder because you can see the parallel with mother and daughter in their actions. Number 14, did you know that despite Hinata having the title in the anime of being the Queen of Gluttony, because she was the winner of that Ichiraku ramen food eating contest in a filler episode, Hinata actually hates to eat some of the foods that were included in the ramen that she was served. According to the official Naruto databooks, her least favorite foods are crabs and shrimp, which the latter can be found in ramen, and her favorite foods reveal that she's got quite the sweet tooth, with her favorite foods being cinnamon buns and red bean soup, which is called zenzai in Japanese, which can be turned into frozen ice pop and can be made into a popular Asian dessert. Hinata isn't just one of the sweetest Naruto characters you'll find, she's also got one of the biggest sweet tooths in the series. Number 15, did you know that Hinata is literally tied for being in the most number of Naruto video games with a whopping total of 41 different video games in the Naruto franchise, which makes a ton of sense when you realize that in Japanese official Naruto popularity polls, when the manga was weekly, Hinata actually peaked at 6th place in the popularity polls in the second Naruto popularity poll for chapter 107, which would have come after her battle with Neji and after falling outside the top 10 multiple times over the next decade when the Naruto popularity polls are given out for the manga. Hinata, as true to her ninja way, never actually gave up, and she finally reclaimed the 10th spot in the top 10 on the final Naruto popularity poll done for chapter 531, which is midway through the war, making her the most popular Naruto female at the time, with Sakura being 2 slots behind her at number 12, making this the 3rd time in the history of the manga popularity polls that she beat out Sakura for being the most popular Naruto female. That's going to be it for 15 things you didn't know about Hinata. If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch my most daring what if video ever. What if Sasuke married Hinata?